Hello everybody, once again, this is my August DVD update, or I think the more catching title of this is my horror not horror, Horror, convention update. Now, I had an awesome time, Flashback Weekend 2011. You're going to be seeing the video to that before you're seeing this. Yeah, plenty of awesome stuff. I got cameos in there by a bunch of people. I did so much incredible stuff there. Flashback Weekend 2011 was just amazing. I had a blast there, talking to all the actors and actresses and stuff. So, yeah. So here's my horror convention update. Now, granted, if you hear like cars in the background, I got my screen door open because, you know, summer, don't want the air conditioner on, so I got the screen door open, so if you hear cars, excuse that. And my cat. Alright, now granted, there are a couple things in here that I did not buy at the convention that I bought beforehand, but I'll just show those, you know, doesn't hurt. Alright, so getting right down to business. First one I got, I'll show all the non-horror convention buys first, then I will switch over and tell you when I'm showing the horror stuff. Alright, the first non-horror DVDs I bought all of the Rocky movies. I've got the first 5 in this set. It comes with the first 5 movies in these slim cases like this, the Rocky Anthology. And then, of course, I got Rocky Balboa separate. Rocky's one of those series, I thought all of them were decent. There was not really one I disliked. If I had to pick a favorite out of all of them, I would have to say my favorite was Rocky 3. I don't know, something about Rocky 3, it had like a lot of humor in it. I don't know, I just like Rocky 3. Mr. T's good in it. One of my favorite scenes is the scene where Hulk Hogan comes in and like I don't know, it's like Sylvester Stallone only goes up to like the bottom of his shoulder. I don't know, it's pretty funny. But the Rocky Anthology is a good, real cheap set too. You know, they come in like small cases and stuff. And then, you know, Rocky Balboa, the new one that came out in 2006. These are all great movies. You know, I would highly recommend the Rocky movies to anybody. Yeah, they're all great. The next one I got is a double feature of Shaft and Shaft's Big Score. I honestly had never seen the Shaft movies. I've seen Richard Roundtree in other movies before, but I never saw the Shaft movies. I came across this for $3 at Walgreens, so yeah, why not? I'll watch it. And I like, you know, they're okay. They're like 70s. You could definitely tell they're from the early 70s. You know, Richard Roundtree, I like him as an actor. He's good in other action movies like Kill Point. He's good in that. A couple others. The Shaft's movies are okay. I mean, it's not my type of action movie. I do like them. It's just not my type of action movie. This is a good setting. I will complete my Shaft collection at one point. I think after this there was only one more, that Shaft Goes to Africa, I think the other one was. Then I know they like remade it with like they remade it, I know. I think Richard Roundtree was in that too, like as his uncle or something like that. I don't know. Alright, and then I got comedy on DVD starring Kramer. One of my favorite men alive, Kramer, starring Kramer and Jeff Daniels in Trial and Error. Yes, I know his real name is Michael Richards. But anything with Kramer, I'll watch. Yeah, Kramer's the only Kramer, I love Seinfeld because of Kramer. So. A movie that Kramer stars in, I couldn't pass it up. Trial and Error, I really like this movie. I think I have a Canadian DVD of it because, like, the disc, it says it twice, like Trial and Error, then it says Le Pou Fou de Do, something like that, and I don't know, it says, like, on the back, it's in English and French, it's got the English and French title on the binding. Trial and Error is a good movie. It's another one I got for really cheap at Walgreens. Buying a lot of movies at Walgreens lately. I do like Trial and Error. It's a good one. Now this next one, when I was at my family reunion, my horror is like a big, like, running thing in my family. And so my uncle Richie, he actually had two copies of this for whatever reason. And he gave me one. And I never saw this movie before. I've only seen the original. And it is the Dawn of the Dead remake, starring Ving Rhames, Sarah Polley, Jake Weber, and Mekhi Phifer. It's not that bad, actually. I kind of like the Dawn of the Dead remake. I like it. It's not as good as the original. My favorite George Romero movie is always probably going to be Day of the Dead. The original one, not that crappy remake. But Dawn of the Dead, the remake, it's okay. I don't have any problems with it. It's okay. But I'd stick to the original one if I had to choose over this and the original. But as I said, my favorite's always the original Day of the Dead. It's always been my favorite. Now this one's new. It just came out 5 days ago, August 9th. And I saw it in theaters. Really, really liked it. Had to get the DVD of it. It's Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Seth Rogen, Jason Bateman, Kristen Wiig, and Paul. I saw this in the theaters. I really, really liked Paul. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was a good style comedy, not like a raunchy type comedy that mostly gets put out nowadays. I thought it was a good humor in it, not like sex comedy and all that stuff that's been coming out today. Paul, it's a good movie though. I liked it. Seth Rogen does a good job. There's some cool things that you can learn from these DVD extras. That apparently, like, this movie, something about it was in production since like 2008, and like what's his name? Bill Hader was originally gonna do the voice of Paul, and like they showed test footage of it, and like Paul was like slightly different looking. You can really learn a lot, and then it's got a cool commentary. Funny little made up documentary called "Who the Hell is Adam's Shadow Child?" So yeah, Paul, if it's a good new movie, it's one of the good movies in my opinion that came out in 2011. I like Paul. I would recommend getting that. Alright. Time for the horror convention stuff. Alright, I got a lot. I got 14 movies from the horror convention, and I'll show them all. Because I'm awesome. And I always show all my DVDs and my updates. I never forget. First one is an 80s slasher. I know a lot of people know it's a real common 80s slasher movie, but I, for some reason, had never owned it. And it's The Burning. I don't think this is the official release of it, because I think this is the uncut print. Like on the back here it says, features Tom Savini's uncut special gore effects that were cut out of the U.S. theatrical and actual release of the film. So I think this version is gorier than the official print. So, yeah, it's gorier. It features like the gore scenes that were cut out, apparently. So now, like this, I think this is taken from like a Spanish copy of it that had all the gore scenes in it. Burning, it's a good movie though. You know, a lot of the stuff with it coming out around the same time as Friday the 13th and stuff. I like this. Speaking of when I was talking about Kramer earlier being in that trial error movie, well, this movie's got George. A lot of Seinfeld people in my horror update, which is good. Now this next one, this movie was so dumb. The acting was so not good, but it's so cheesy. I loved it. It's terrible, and I loved it. It knew it was not good, and it's got a pretty good named cast. You got the French girl from Better Off Dead. You got John Grise. He was Laszlo in Real Genius. Mary Woronov. You know, she was in Night of the Comet, Death Race 2000, House of the Devil. And this movie, it's just so ridiculous. so stupid that I loved it. It's called Terrorvision. It had, I don't know, there's something about it. I loved it. It had a cool soundtrack. Like, Terrorvision. Bow, 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 wow. Yeah, but Terrorvision, I thought it was funny. I'm sure not everybody will like this. If you're into like more darker, serious horror movies, you're probably not gonna like this. But I did, just because it's just stupid. I loved it. I like stupid movies like this. Yeah, I don't think that's ever gotten an official release outside of VHS, so you'd have to check up on that. Next one I got, I know this movie is released on actual DVD, but it's out of print. It's like so expensive online. So I bootleg for $10. I'm like, hell, I'll just get this. I know they're actually coming out with a real DVD of it soon, but I just bought it now, and it's a bootleg of Popcorn with Jill Schoelen. I actually met Jill Schoelen at Flashback Weekend over this past weekend. I've got her. Screw it, I can take time out and show you this. I actually got her autograph right there, Jill Schoelen. Yeah, just want to take some time. Won't take that much. But Popcorn, it's a good movie. I liked it. It's another like cheesy movie, but I liked it. Jill Schoelen's good in it. Jill Schoelen, Tom Villard, D. Wallace Stone, Tony Roberts, and Bruce Glover. It's good. I like Popcorn. The DVD. It's good that they're coming out with an actual release. And like the other one's selling for like super expensive. Although I have a feeling the price might go down on it when the other one gets released. So Popcorn, Jill Schoelen, she is good in that. Keep having to adjust that. Now this next one is like a TV movie, I think. Either like a pilot to a TV miniseries or what. I'm not really too sure. And this was shot in 1987 between Psycho 3 and Psycho 4. And it cuts this whole, like, story into the Psycho universe. It's this TV movie called Bates Motel. It cuts this whole storyline that happens within the Psycho movies. Like, they say, like, Norman looked after this young kid. Like, there was this abused and young kid that Norman looked after, and then, like, the kid grew up to take on the legacy of the motel. I know this movie makes no sense with the context of the actual Psycho movies, Psycho 1 through 4, like, nowhere near mention this. Plus, the ending of Psycho 4 really... Plus, the ending to Psycho 4 really kind of disregards something like this. I don't know. It's okay. It's not that great. If I wanted to watch something that had to do with the Bates Motel, I would probably just watch either Psycho 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's better than that remake with Vince Vaughn, though. I can say that. This is better than the Vince Vaughn remake. Jason Bateman is in this. I was really surprised. I didn't really pay too much attention to the back cover as in, like, cast-wise. But I'm watching the movie and it comes up, special guest appearance by Jason Bateman as Tony. And I'm like, Jason Bateman's in this out. I don't even think this ever got a legit release in the U.S. either. Bates Motel. Just watch the Psycho movies, but not the remake. Now, I know this one a lot of people hate, but to be honest, I saw it on the Comcast On Demand, and I thought it was fun. I liked it. It's C.H.U.D II, a.k.a. Bud the Chud. The only problem I had with this bootleg is that, of course, I saw it Comcast On Demand, so I saw it like good picture, HD, all that stuff. This bootleg's taken from a VHS, and the VHS they took this from was not really that great quality. There's this, like, buzzing noise in the entire movie that kind of, I didn't really like in there, and, like, the picture is just not that great. If I ever come across another bootleg of this, I might get it down the line. I mean, it's okay, though, to watch. It's not that bad. But C.H.U.D II, though, I had fun with it. I've never actually seen C.H.U.D I. But I know they had nothing to do with each other, so I didn't care. It's got a Garrett Gray, like this guy right there, Garrett Graham. He was the father in Terrorvision. And then this also has Robert Vaughn in it, which is funny. I do like Chud II, Bud the Chud. I thought it was fun. Fun movie, to me at least. I know a lot of people hate it, but I liked it. I like the theme song too there. Bud the Chud. I'm a walking, I'm a talking. Next one I got is an action movie starring Telly Savalas, Peter Fonda, O.J. Simpson, and Christopher Lee called Killer Force. It was okay. It's made in the mid-70s. It's an okay action movie. I didn't really look this up online, so I'm not really that aware of what the release of this movie's like. It's a good action movie, though, starring Telly Savalas. I love Telly Savalas in his movies. I've got a lot of Telly Savalas movies in my updates, so... Yeah, so that's him in Killer Force. I'm trying to go by these fast, because I don't want this update to be extremely long. Next one I got the 25th anniversary edition of Zombie 2, aka Zombie. Z-O-M-B-I-E. You know, this is a Shriek Show released this movie. It's cool. It comes in like this sliding case. Like, you slide it out, and then it's got this, and right there. And it actually, it comes with a poster that I haven't hung up yet. So I'll have to hang that. It's not, I've taken it out and unfolded it. It's not really that big of a poster, but I don't really care. Zombie, I do have a Shriek Show box set that comes with Zombie 2, not Zombie 2, Zombie 3, Zombie 4 After Death, Zombie 5 Killing Birds, even though 4 and 5 were never part of the series until Shriek Show renamed them on the cases, but Zombie 2 is a classic by Lucio Fulci. I like this movie. It's late 70s, it's when zombie movies were good, unlike vampire, well, zombies have nothing to do with vampires in my opinion, but this is back when they did like the undead movies right, and not like the Day of the Dead remake, where zombies are running and talking and using like proper English and stuff, that kind of stuff. That's not what a zombie is. This movie is like after Night of the Living Dead from the 60s. This, in my opinion, did set the standard for zombie movies. So yeah, Zombie 2, I know this isn't the only edition you could get for it. I know you could get the version that's Zombie, Z-O-M-B-I-E, by Blue Underground. I think Anchor Bay even has a release of it. So yeah, Zombie 2, aka Zombie IE, is good. This is 2 discs. It's got a lot of special features on it. Good DVD. Now this next one's an Australian movie. Now I gotta say, if you have a weak stomach or anything like that, don't watch this, because this movie was so gory and gross and nasty. This movie was sick, that's what I'll say. And it's this Australian, I think it's Australian, this movie called Body Melt. This movie was disgusting. Some of the gore in it. It's really low budget, but I don't know, it was just nasty. Like, some of the scenes in here, it was just gross all the way. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. If you have a squeamish stomach, don't watch Body Melt. It's just, and if you do have a squeamish stomach, and if you do continue to watch this, don't eat when you're watching it, because you'll probably throw up. Then, speaking of vomiting, there is this one scene in Body Melt where I'm not going to describe it, it's gross, but yeah, if you're a gore, like, gross movie hound, definitely check out Body Melt, because this is for you. This movie is very, very gory. I got Bigfoot. This is one of the gazillion adaptations of Bigfoot that have been made. This is the one with John Carradine, John Mitchum, Joy Lansing, James Craig, and Chris Mitchum. I collect Chris Mitchum movies. I have no clue why. Just the low-budget action movies he's in, they always have like a grindhouse type feel to them, which I like. So in like future updates and stuff, you're probably going to be seeing a lot of movies that Chris Mitchum is in. And I'm not going to bring that up every time I show one of his movies because that's going to get old. But just, I am collecting Chris Mitchum movies, and I already have a couple. I got Faceless, Dark Mission, and Diamondbacks right now. So, and now Bigfoot. So, Bigfoot, on the other hand, John Carradine and John Mitchum are both good, and it's really old, really cheesy, but I like it. Like the suit that they're wearing, it's pretty cheap, but I liked it. Guys, still got 5 left. It's a huge update. Alright, next one I got is Paranoia, and it's wet for some reason. I don't know why. But Paranoia is a movie that, I know there's that reviewer that you probably know, the Cinema Snob. Well, he sells this on his website, but he was there at the convention actually selling copies of this in person. You know, I had him, the Cinema Snob, or his real name's Brad, I had him sign it. Then the guy he was standing with also signed it. I can't really make out who that is. I can't make out who the other is. It's an independent movie, though. I thought Brad and his friend did a good job at this. It's funny, when I was talking to him, I interview him in my convention video, in case you wanted to see that, but in the video I'm interviewing him, he said this is a script that he wrote since 1997, and it's just getting made, like, now, because one of his friend, Ryan Mitchell, graduated from film college, and they wanted to make a movie with one of Brad's, like, leftover scripts. It's funny. Next one I got is a documentary. Why are these all kind of, like, damp? I don't know. And then there's Heavy Metal Parking Lot. It's this documentary. I know you can't, it's like this guy sitting in the parking lot recording all these metalheads coming out of these metal rock concerts. And he shows them there, and then he shows them like 10 years later. I know there is an official release you can buy of this on Amazon for real cheap. That's the 20-minute long version. But this is the rare, unedited, 120, 2-hour long version. I know the 2-hour version on Amazon, they had one copy of it, and it was for $400. And I got the bootleg of the 400-minute long one. So I know you can buy the one from Amazon that's really cheap. That's only the 20-minute long version of this. But I have the 2-hour long version, which is like really rare and expensive on that. Of course, it's a bootleg though, so. But Heavy Metal Parking Lot, it is a good, interesting documentary. It almost, it's kind of like those, like, waiting in the Star Wars lines and that kind of stuff. Like Star Wait and that kind of stuff. Another independent movie, which I haven't gotten around to watching yet, Dead Bodies Everywhere. Looks kind of like Friday the 13th Part 2, judging by this. The people I bought from the people that made the movie. They gave me 3 posters to go along with this. So yeah, I will have to get around to checking that out, and they gave me like little cards and stuff inside. This one, all of you know about, the original Slumber Party Massacre. It was really campy and fun. I liked it. I have not seen the sequels. I'm hearing mixed things. Alright, now the final one is an action movie starring Dolph Lundgren and Louis Gossett Jr., The Punisher. I have not watched this one yet. So, Rambo Raf, why don't you comment down there and tell me how The Punisher is, so I know when I watch it. I know you're a Dolph Lundgren fan, so check this out. Alright, so do my recap for this enormous update. You got The Punisher, Slumber Party Massacre, Dead Bodies Everywhere, Heavy Metal Parking Lot, Paranoia, Bigfoot, starting my Chris Mitchum movie collection. I know that sounds weird, but Body Melt, Zombie 2, aka Zombie. Be careful with Zombie. Killer Force with Telly Savalas, Peter Fonda, Christopher Lee, O.J. Simpson. Star-studded cast for the 70s. Chud II, Bud the Chud. Bates Motel, Popcorn, Terrorvision, the complete uncut, uncensored, unedited version of The Burning, Paul, The Dawn of the Dead remake, Trial and Error featuring Kramer, Shaft and Shaft's Big Score, and all 6 of the Rocky movies. Hope you enjoyed my horror convention update, and I'll do like a video showing all my horror convention autographs and stuff and other merchandise I got, so stay tuned. How long has this gone on for? 25 minutes, my longest DVD update yet. Wow, bye.